Hello, sports fans. It is Wednesday, January the 30th, the year 2013. And as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going. Right now, we're going to do our NBA and our NHL today. A couple of news and notes from last night, a couple of scores to get to. Let's start in the NHL. The Boston Bruins beat the New Jersey Devils 2-1. They beat them in a shootout. Boston is playing really well. The Rangers beat the Flyers 2-1 at Madison Square Garden. The Flyers are really struggling. Montreal continues their hot start. They beat Winnipeg 4-3. Ottawa comes back and beats Washington 3-2. Washington really struggling as well. The Islanders go into Pittsburgh and beat the Penguins 4-1. The Islanders are turning into a decent team. Do I think they're a great team, a good team, or even a playoff team? No, but I think they're going to be a little better this year. Not the the worst team in the NHL like they've been for, it seems, the last 20 years. Tampa Bay beats Florida in Tampa, and San Jose, late night last night, beat Anaheim. As far as your NBA last night, Golden State beat Cleveland, and that was without Curry and Bogut. Bogut did come back the night before, but he sat out last night. Portland beat Dallas. Aldridge had 5 points in the last 5 seconds of the game that clipped Dallas. Terrible loss by Dallas. And the Lakers beat New Orleans. The Lakers have won 3 in a row. Now everyone's getting back on the Laker bandwagon. Not so fast. We'll get to them later. As far as your college basketball, Ohio State beat Wisconsin at Ohio State. Nice win for them. Virginia doing a really nice job. Won a home game against NC State. NC State having a lot of trouble in these close games. And Kentucky went into Ole Miss and beat Ole Miss. And Ole Miss was rolling this year. Kentucky said, not so fast, Ole Miss. We're still the kings of basketball. Ole Miss having a tremendous year, though. But Kentucky got them last night. Okay, we're going to do a little NBA, a little NHL today. Let's start in our NBA. We're going to go through the conferences here. We're going to go worst to first, as we always do. We're going to start in the Eastern Conference. Worst team in the Eastern Conference right now, Charlotte, 11-33. Not much going on with Charlotte. I do like Walker. I do like Kid Gilchrist. But Michael Jordan, I've said it a million times, terrible as an executive. I mean, he is just awful. I mean, you just wonder how long they're going to keep Michael Jordan around. My goodness, he is an awful executive. Just can't seem to get anything done. But he is Michael Jordan, so I'm sure they're going to keep him just because he's Michael Jordan. But anyway, that's Charlotte, 11-33. Washington, 11-32. They do have Wall back. At least they have a little excitement with him back. They still have a long way to go. Cleveland, 13-32. I do love Irving, the point guard. He is a tremendous player. If you haven't seen Irving, check him out. He is a fabulous player. What a wonderful player. They need to get him some players around him. Orlando, 14-30. I mean, there's not much to say about Orlando. Once Dwight Howard left, I mean, you knew it was going to be this kind of season. Toronto, 16-29. Just when Toronto was starting to play a little better, they've fallen back. Rumors are they may trade for Rudy Gay. We'll keep an eye on that. Detroit, 17-27. They can fight you at home. They're terrible on the road. I do like Monroe and Knight, and they're not the worst team in the league, but they still got a long way to go. Philadelphia, 18-26. Andrew Bynum, when are you coming back? I mean, put Andrew Bynum on this team. They're decent. Without him, they're awful. Andrew Bynum's got to play. He's missed the whole season so far. Doug Collins can't catch a break. Boston, 21-23. They would be your first team in the playoffs. They would be the 8th seed right now. Not going to be easy for Boston to make the playoffs now. Not without Rondo. He tore his ACL. He's out for the year. They have an older team to begin with. I mean, Garnett, Pierce, Terry, all old. Going to be a long stretch for Boston. They'll be lucky to make the playoffs. Milwaukee, 23-19. Look for them to move either Jennings or Ellis out of the backcourt. They need some help in the front court. Ellis takes way too many shots, and you got Jennings. You know, I don't know if those two guys can coexist. I mean, they both like to shoot. Ellis likes to shoot a lot. I don't know if they could coexist. Plus, they need help in the front court. Better off to move one of these guys and get some front court help to have some balance on that team. Atlanta, 25-19. Overall, they've done a nice job. They have slipped a little bit. I love Horford this year. Josh Smith, when he keeps his mouth shut, is a fabulous player. Atlanta overall doing a nice job, although they have come back a little bit. Indiana doing a tremendous job. 26-19 and no Granger yet. You put Granger on this team, you got a really, really nice team in Indiana. I love the coach. They have some nice players. George, West Hill, Hibbert, they have a really nice nucleus. Indiana, are they a championship team? No, but they're a better Eastern Conference team. Brooklyn playing tremendous ball since P.J. Carlissimo took over. They're 27-18. Much, much better with P.J. over Avery Johnson. I mean, Avery Johnson, we know, got a raw deal. They didn't give him much time. But, I mean, something needs to be done. Brooklyn spent a lot of money in the offseason. They wanted immediate results. You know, the owner wants immediate results. He's a very aggressive owner. PJ doing a nice job. Williams playing better. Lopez playing better. You put him with Wallace, Johnson, and Humphreys, you got a decent team. Chicago, 27-17. Does anyone do a better job than Tom Thibodeau? This is without Derrick Rose, their best player. Derrick Rose is a superstar. You lose him, they're still 10 games over 500. Derrick Rose is going to eventually come back, so they're just going to get that much better. Boozer a lot better this year. Dang makes the All-Star team. Noah playing good. Tremendous job by the Bulls. Knicks 27-15. Knicks have done a really nice job this year as well. Melo playing out of sight. Woodson, the coach, I like what I see from him. Felton really playing well for the Knicks. They got Chandler, the big man in the middle, you know, holding down the defense. J.R. Smith has played well. Shumpert is back. Kidd has played well. The Knicks have been playing downhill since the beginning of the season. They got off to a hot start, and they've maintained it. So nice job on the Knickerbockers. Miami, 28-13. I mean, best team in the NBA. LeBron, Wade, Bosh, Allen. One thing Miami does not have that makes them slightly vulnerable, they don't have a lot of size. They don't have much size. That's the one area you can attack Miami. They don't have a lot of big men, but still, when they bring their A game with LeBron, Wade, and throwing Bosh and now Allen, tough to beat. Tough to beat. So Miami, best team in the East right now. No surprise there. Let's move over to the Western Conference. Worst team in the West, Phoenix, 15-30. I mean, Phoenix is hard to watch. I knew this was going to be a long year for Phoenix. I do like Scola. I mean, if a contending team could try and get Scola, that would be a nice pickup because on Phoenix, Scola is getting lost, but he's a really nice player, really nice role player. If a contending team could get Scola, that would be a good move. Phoenix, going to be a long year for them. New Orleans, 15-29. I do like their nucleus with the young Davis and Gordon and Rivers, but they are so green, so inexperienced. And please, people in New Orleans, go support that team. We got to get the attendance up in there, up in that arena for New Orleans. It's a little lull right now. Let's get up, get some fannies in the seats down there in New Orleans. You got a nice young nucleus. Go watch the Hornets play a little bit. And by the way, the Hornets are going to change their name to the Pelicans. Don't know how you feel about that, but that's what they're going to do next year. Sacramento, 17-29. They're definitely going to move to Seattle now, so they're a lame duck franchise here in Sacramento. They do have some nice players. They have Cousins, the big man, but he's flaky. They have Evans, but they could trade him. Fredette is a decent player, but they picked him really high. They thought he was going to be a star. He's not. They have a decent number of players, but it's just not gelling. Somebody's got to be moved, and now the franchise is going to be moved to Seattle. That's good for Seattle, bad for Sacramento. Minnesota, 17-24. Ever since Love got hurt again, Minnesota is falling apart. Love is never healthy. Broke his hand twice this year. He's going to be back the end of the year. Rubio is finally back, but he missed all of last year. Coach Adelman is back after missing about a month because his wife was sick. Minnesota overall, though, too many injuries. If they are healthy, Minnesota's got a decent team. Without all these guys in the lineup, they're just another bad team. Dallas, 19-26. What is Dallas doing? I mean, I don't expect Dallas to be a championship team, but 19-26, they're better than that. With Dirk Nowitzki and Mayo and Brand and Kaman, they should be better than that. They should be at least a 500 team. I mean, the way they lost to Portland last night, they're up 3 points, and they let Portland score 5 points in the last 5 seconds to beat them. Terrible. Dallas has to pick it up. Look for Mark Cuban to make a move. He's not one to stand pat. Lakers, 20-25. I know they've won 3 in a row. Let's keep it in perspective. They were 3 home games. They beat Utah, who's a bad team on the road. New Orleans is an awful team to begin with. They did have a nice win against Oklahoma City, but let's calm down. We've seen this act before from the Lakers. They're still 5 games under 500. They're still 5-15 on the road. And I don't believe this whole Kobe Bryant's going to be Mr. Assist Man. I mean, that's all fine and good when you're winning the games and you're playing New Orleans. Let's see when the Lakers fall behind on the road if Kobe Bryant's going to be happy to be dishing the ball and not taking shots. I don't believe this for 1 second. I still think the Lakers have major problems. They have won 3 in a row, though. Portland, 22-22. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They've kind of fallen back a little bit. They did have a nice win against Dallas last night. I do like Aldridge. I like Hickson. I like Batum. I like Matthews Lillard. Really nice young player. They do have some nice young players. They have some of the best fans in the world. Rose Garden is to die for, that arena they play out there. I do like what I see from Portland. I mean, I think they could be a playoff team. Houston right now, 25-22. They would be your first team in the playoffs if the playoffs start today, which of course it doesn't. We still got half a year to go. Houston is very flaky. They're up and they're down. They won 3 in a row. After they lost 6 in a row, they're up, they're down, they're here, they're there. Don't know what to expect from Houston. Overall, they've done a decent job. They are 3 games over 500. Lynn is exciting. Ashik in the middle is a great rebounder. Harden is a tremendous player. He was good on Oklahoma City. He's becoming a star for Houston. I like the job McHale has done overall with this Rocket team. Utah, 24-21, 15-5 at home, 9-16 on the road. That's the story with Utah. Good at home, bad on the road. They have Jefferson, Millsap, Hayward. They have some good players, no superstar though. Denver, 28-18, one of the best home teams in the league. 18-3 at home. They could beat anyone in that altitude. On the road, different story. They're 10-15. Carl's doing an overall nice job. Nice collection of players again for Denver. Denver, Gallinari, Lawson, Iguodala, Fareed, Brewer, McGee, Chandler. A nice collection of players. No superstar, though. Golden State, 27-17. Bogut finally back. He came back a couple nights ago. Did not play last night. Bogut is back. I want to see Bogut healthy. He can play when he's healthy. Now, he's always hurt. If he can stay healthy and you put him with Lee and Curry and Thompson, this team's going to be really exciting. Golden State's doing a tremendous job. Mark Jackson should be up for Coach of the Year. I mean, 10 games over 500 without Bogut. The fans are tremendous out in Golden State. They will be moving from Oakland to San Francisco in a couple of years, but right now, Golden State looks like a really nice team. Definitely a playoff team, and I want to see Bogut healthy. With a healthy Bogut, this team could be very exciting. By the way, I thought Curry should have made the All-Star team. I thought he got robbed. Memphis, 29-15. Really nice team, Memphis, but who's their superstar? Marc Gasol, he's a nice player. He's not a superstar. Conley, nice player, not a superstar. Randolph, same thing. Rudy Gay, they look like they're going to trade Rudy Gay, and he's not even a superstar. Memphis has a solid team, really nice team, no superstar. They probably do need to make a trade. And Rudy Gay's contract is an albatross. Might be better to get him off the team, get a couple of players, a couple of really good players for him, and put them with the guys they have. Maybe you improve a little bit. I think Memphis definitely needs to make a trade, because if they stand pat, they're a good team. They're not a great team, though. Clippers, 33-13. They miss Chris Paul. When Chris Paul went out of the lineup, the Clippers started to play lousy. They lost 4 in a row there. Need Chris Paul in the worst way. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You obviously have to have a healthy Chris Paul. With him, the Clippers are a championship contender. I still think they're a little green, little inexperienced. Without him, they take a step back. Paul, though, is day-to-day. He should be back shortly. Oklahoma City, 34-11. We all love Durant, Westbrook, Ibaka. I didn't like the way they played against the Lakers the other day. They were kind of sleepwalking in that game. Other than Durant, no one really played well. I mean, I want Oklahoma City to come out in that game and beat a struggling Laker team. Instead, they let the Lakers kind of push them around. The Lakers took over in the fourth quarter. Didn't like what I saw in the fourth quarter from Oklahoma City, but it was just one game. Overall, Oklahoma City's one of the best teams in basketball. We know that. San Antonio, right now, your best team in the West. They keep doing it every year, 36-11. How good is Popovich as a coach? I mean, this guy is unbelievable. I mean, Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, we know about those guys, but Parker gets guys like Neal and a guy like Splitter to play well. You put Splitter on another team, he probably doesn't get off the bench. With San Antonio, he's a major contributor. That shows you how good Popovich is. Popovich gets the most out of his players. Now, I think San Antonio still has a lot of age on him to win the title, especially with Tim Duncan. I mean, we all love Tim Duncan. He's an all-time great. He won all those championships. He's getting up there now. It's hard to ask Duncan when you're playing at Oklahoma City or a Clippers, to carry the team and to beat those kind of teams. Those are young teams. Those are young stallion teams. I mean, San Antonio's got a lot of age on them, but, I mean, you can't say anything bad about San Antonio. I mean, 36-11, tremendous job. I do think their age will catch up with them in the playoffs, but for now, best team in the West. All right, so that's your NBA right now. Let's move over to the NHL. Now, I know it's very early in the NHL season, but once a week we're going to go through the NHL conferences. We'll start in the East. We'll go worst to first, just like we do in basketball. Right now, your worst team in the East is Florida. The Florida Panthers, who had a surprising year last year, are struggling. They are 1-5, 2 points, and they have a ton of injuries. They got to get some guys healthy. Washington, 1-4, 3 points. What is going on with Washington? I have to say this. Be patient, Washington fans. The new coach, Oates, the system he's trying to run takes a little time, Be patient. I know that's asking a lot for Washington, for the fans to be patient, considering they've had so many big teams with Ovechkin the last few years, and they've fallen short. Hard to ask the fans to be patient. I'm going to have to ask you guys to be patient. Oates, I think he knows what he's doing. I think the system will work. Just be patient. Right now, they're really struggling. Philadelphia, 2-5, 4 points. I mean, what in the world is going on with Philadelphia? Too many guys hurt. The goalie situation is a huge problem for Philly. I mean, I don't like what I see at all from the Flyers right now. Buffalo, 2-3. They only have 4 points. Right now, Buffalo has a good goalie, but bad defense overall. Bad defense, good goalie. They have good fans, but they got to improve their defense. Carolina, 2-3. They have 4 points. They're getting going. They had a really, really slow start. They're getting going recently. I think they're a sleeper team. They got Stahl from the Penguins in the offseason. I think they're going to be a sleeper team. Give them some time. Toronto, 2-3, 4 points. They give up way too many goals, Toronto. Way too many goals. And Kessel, no goals so far. What's the story there? Rangers, 4-3. The Rangers have 6 points. They started slow. They will get much better as the season goes on. They beat the Flyers last night. Rangers are a contender, make no mistake about it. With the goalie and adding Nash to the team, Rangers are going to be a contender. I mean, no doubt about it. The Islanders are 3-2, 7 points. The Islanders look like they're showing some life. They are a young team. They are close to being decent. No, I don't think they're going to win the Cup. No, I don't think they're going to, challenge for the Cup. I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be a little better this year. I mean, that's not saying much. The last 20 years, they've been one of the worst teams in the NHL. I think they're starting to get a little better. And once they move to Brooklyn, I think that's going to only help the Islanders. They're going to get some free agents. They're going to get a little better. I think the future is a little bright for the Islanders now after having decades of just terrible, terrible hockey. Pittsburgh, 3-3, 6 points. They are a contender. They need to fine-tune things. I mean, they're going to be a contender with Malkin and Crosby as long as Crosby stays healthy. Haven't liked what I've seen from them lately. I mean, they got drubbed by the Islanders. They lost a bad home game to Toronto. But, I mean, they're a contender. They got to fine-tune some things, though. Montreal, 4-1, 8 points. Montreal has only allowed 7 goals in 4 games. So Montreal doing a nice job defensively and goaltending. Montreal, surprise so far. Winnipeg, 3-3. They have 7 points. Is there a better home ice than Winnipeg? I mean, how good is Winnipeg's home ice? The fans are tremendous since getting that team back there. Great home ice there. Ottawa, 4-1. They have 9 points. Greg Anderson goaltending so far has been really good. Really good. He's the reason they're 4-1. New Jersey, they are 3-2. They have 8 points. Nobody does a better job than the New Jersey Devils as far as their front office. I mean, they lose Parisi, they lose Sikora, and they're still a good team. Nobody runs their franchise better than the New Jersey Devils. Nobody. I mean, the franchise is run meticulously. So the Devils, I mean, I think they're going to be take a step back this year without Sikora and Parisi, but I'm sure they're still going to be a good team. Tampa Bay, 5-1, 10 points. GM Yzerman, who was a great player at Detroit, is the GM of Tampa. He made some nice offseason additions in the offseason, really paying dividends. As long as as long as Yzerman is the GM of Tampa, I have faith that Tampa will get some things done. They are off to a nice start, 5-1. Boston, 5-0, 11 points. Boston, I mean, very tough team, intimidating. They got their snarl back. Now, one thing I don't like, Thomas is sitting out the year, the goalie. He wanted to spend more time with his family. I thought maybe because of the lockout he'd play half a season. He wants to take the whole season off, so that means Boston doesn't have Thomas. And when they won the Cup a couple years ago, he was huge. That's a loss, but Boston is a tough, gritty, intimidating team. They are a snarly little team. You don't want to get into fisticuffs with Boston, believe me. You don't want to get into any fights with Boston. Their team is huge and nasty. Definite Cup contender, even without Thomas. So that is your Eastern Conference in the NHL. Let's go over to the West. Calgary, 1-2, 3 points. Calgary should have been rebuilt years ago. I don't know what they're waiting for. Ginler, I mean, how long is he going to stay there? Ginler is a really nice player, and he's stuck with this awful team. They should have rebuilt 2 years ago. Phoenix, 2-4, 4 points. Phoenix, 20 goals allowed in 5 games. What's that all about? Their goaltending was great last year. Colorado, 2-3. I mean, they have 4 points. They have to get Ryan O'Reilly signed. He was their leading scorer last year. They're in this contract dispute. Got to have him. Columbus, 2-3, 5 points. I see a lot of energy from Columbus. They are a hard-hitting team. The teams they play leave black and blue. Are they the best team? Are they a good team? No, but they will give you a fight. Nashville 1-2, 5 points. They have no offense. Scored 10 goals in 5 games. Got to pick that up. Dallas 2-3, 5 points. Hard to believe Jaromir Jagr is still playing, and he's on Dallas. He doesn't fit on Dallas, does he? I can't get used to him on Dallas. They have Jamie Benn back. He's a good player, so we'll see if Dallas can pick it up. And Jagr, don't get me wrong, he's still a decent player, but I just can't get used to him on Dallas. Detroit 3-2, 7 points. Veteran team, always in the mix, Detroit. I mean, you can never count them out. That's hockey town there in Detroit. Never can count them out. LA 2-2, 5 points. They have a little bit of a cup hangover right now, starting to play a little better. I think they're going to get better as the season goes on. Minnesota 2-2, 5 points. That is nice top line with Koivu, Heatley, and Parisi. Really nice top line. That top line is as good as any in the NHL. Vancouver 2-2, 6 points. Need Ryan Kessler back in the worst way. Without him, they're just a mediocre team. With him, they're definitely a better team. Anaheim 3-2, 6 points. A little surprise start. I thought Anaheim was going to have a rough start. 3-2, decent start for them. St. Louis 5-1, 10 points. Very, very, very deep team. This is a team to watch out for. The St. Louis Blues. Keep an eye on them. They are as deep as anyone in the NHL. Edmonton 3-2, 6 points. No defense, up and down, exciting. They're in the third slot in the West right now because they're leading their division. So, but like I said, no defense, up and down. They are young and exciting, though. They will make it exciting, but they're so up and down. San Jose, they are 6-0, 12 points. What a job by San Jose so far with Thornton and Marlowe. Is this the year that San Jose finally breaks through? They had so many years where they fell short, where they had all those big years where everyone predicted them to win the cup and they fell short. Now everyone's kind of forgotten about San Jose. Is this the team that sneaks up on you? Maybe. I'll believe it when I see it, when San Jose actually gets it done in the playoffs. And right now, the best team in the West, the Chicago Blackhawks, 6-0, 12 points. Corey Crawford, the goaltender so far, has been very good. He's surprising a lot of people. People had their doubts about Corey Crawford. So far, so good with him. And remember, Chicago won it a few years ago, 2010. Could this be a repeat? Great hockey town there in Chicago. Great sports town, Chicago. Chicago's a great city, great sports city. So that's where you are early in your NHL right now. We got a long way to go in the NHL. Although it is only half a season, you still got a long way to go. All right. As far as your news and notes on what to watch tonight, you have in the NHL, Ottawa and Montreal. You have Minnesota and Chicago, Vancouver and Colorado. As far as the NBA, you have Miami at Brooklyn. Really nice game. Chicago at Milwaukee. Clippers at Minnesota. Orlando at the Knicks. Houston at Denver. Lakers at Phoenix. College basketball tonight. Northwestern Michigan, that's #1 Michigan. Purdue, Indiana. Wow, that's a nice rivalry. Should be a nice festive crowd in Purdue. Duke, Wake Forest. Oregon goes to Stanford, and Miami goes to Virginia Tech. So you got some decent games to watch for tonight. I did watch a little bit of the U.S. men's soccer team last night. They had a friendly in Houston against Canada. I'll tell you, if you ever wanted to get into soccer, this was not the game to watch. I mean, this was a dreadful game. It was a 0-0 tie. There was no action whatsoever. The USA didn't play any of their top guys. No Dempsey, the goalie didn't play. Bradley didn't play. Donovan's taking a break. It was an unwatchable, ugly, sloppy game, and Canada played just as bad. But the thing is, Canada, we know, is not a good team. I expected more from the USA, so not a good performance. If you ever wanted to get into soccer, that was not the game to do it. All right, so that wraps up today. Oh, real quickly, tomorrow we're going to do the NFL, and I'm going to do some movie reviews for you. And, of course, we're going to recap, of course, what went on tonight. I personally cannot wait until the Super Bowl is here. I cannot take any more of this Super Bowl hype. I can't take any more of the interviews. How about yesterday? You got the guy for Baltimore Pollard saying the NFL is not going to exist in 30 years because fans are going to get fed up with it. I mean, mindless talk. I mean, then you got Ray Lewis with the steroid thing. I mean, here we go again with steroids or illegal substances. Would it shock anyone if Ray Lewis was doing an illegal substance? Would it shock you if anyone in athletics is not doing something? I mean, it seems like everyone is doing something. So you got the Ray Lewis story. Then Randy Moss comes out and says he's the best receiver in the history of the NFL. Randy Moss, did you forget about Jerry Rice? You're not better than him, so how could you be the best ever? Then you got, the other steroid talk. You got with A-Rod, Cruz, and Melky Cabrera, so more steroid talk there. Then you got Joe Flacco coming out and saying the Super Bowl shouldn't be in New York next year because, it's a cold weather site and they have to play outdoors. Isn't football supposed to be played outdoors, Flacco? Don't you play in a cold weather city? What do you care? I mean, I don't understand these people that all of a sudden care about the Super Bowl being played outdoors in cold weather. I mean, I don't get it. These are the same people that love domed stadiums and, artificial turf. John Madden would have a heart attack with this. I mean, what is the big deal? And first of all, you don't know what the weather's going to be. Today in New York, it's 55 degrees and mild. You have no idea what the weather's going to be. I mean, I've seen Super Bowls in Miami where it's a torrential rainstorm. I've seen Super Bowls, out west where the wind was a factor. You have no idea what the weather's going to be. It could be rainy, it could be windy, it could be chilly in warm weather sites. You have no idea what the weather's going to be here in New York. And so what the weather is? You play football. I mean, my goodness, don't you play outside? I mean, I don't understand it. I don't care if it's snowing, rainy, windy, cold, whatever. Football is made to be played outside. And I'm not just saying this because I'm from New York. If the Super Bowl was held in Chicago or Lambeau Field in Green Bay, you think I'd have a problem with it? I want to see those sites get a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco lost. I can't believe some of the people that are against the Super Bowl being outside. I mean, I just don't get it. To me, the real football fan likes when the Super Bowl is played outside. So to me, I've had enough of the interviews. I've had enough. Let's get to the kickoff already. I can't take anymore, so we'll do our Super Bowl preview tomorrow. And like I said, I'll touch on some movie reviews for you since we have some time tomorrow. Okay, you guys, thanks for tuning in today. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the games tonight. You guys stay safe, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.